Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 1 of Bart Simpson's Creepy Crawly Tales, issue number 1. Now, as you know, this was a bonus story with the first issue of The Simpsons that I did cover a few years ago. And keep in mind, the early Simpson comics had these other side stories or kind of spin-off things. Now, I do believe that, Bart Simpson's Creepy Crawly Tales was meant to be a pilot as well as an early idea to Bart Simpson's Treehouse of Horror. And sometimes when there's an early issue or early ideas, they're usually going to be incorporated into the final version. And this story is meant to be a cautionary tale about greed, obsessions, and how it can be your downfall. And the cover mainly has Homer looking around of all his first appearance comics. And the story starts off with Bart introducing the story of a rich tycoon who lives by himself with no friends or family, and his only aide is his butler. And we see how, the collector is actually Homer Simpson, who basically says, "The pork chops were slightly overcooked, Smeldy. Do it again and you're fired." "Very good, sir." "Ah, Captain Squid, issue 7, with his first appearance of his sidekick El Squid. How well I remember the day I bought this comic." And turns out Homer was able to con his way in getting the issue. And keep in mind that, sometimes crooked comic book collectors will usually try and bribe, swindle, or cheat their way of getting first appearances than doing things the honest way. And we see a random guy saying, "Excuse me, do you have a light?" "Yeah, keep away from my precious mint copy." And we see how, in an over-the-top fashion, the collector mainly has it stalled with other first appearances. And this does become a common theme with some rich tycoon collectors, as they'll go a little overboard. They'll fail to admit any responsibility on their part. And we see how, the collector's kind of butler says, "Goodbye, sir. I shall see you on Monday." "Lousy ingrate. I pay his salary for 14 years, and he pays me by deserting me for 2 days. And we do kind of see how, the collector kind of realizes that his air conditioning for his first appearances have kind of gone on the fritz, so he tries to fix it. But because of him being incompetent with machinery, he basically isn't really that good at it. And we obviously see how, the dog, he's meant to be Santa's little helper, shows up, and we see him saying, "Hey, get out of here, bad dog! Go on, shoot!" And we see him saying, "Huh, I'm trapped." And we see how he tries to get out, thinking he can be this over-the-top superhero. But of course, he realizes that the system kicked back in. And he even says, "Help! Somebody help me! Get me out of here! Help!" But we see how he has to resort to desperate measures due to the cooling system being on overload. And we see how his butler says, "Good Lord! Ha ha ha! New mint! Ha ha! Slightly spring roll! Very fine! Ha 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 ha!" And we see how he had to resort to desperate measures to burn off all his first appearances to keep himself warm. And him saying, "Ultra rare! Ha ha ha! Only known copy! Ha ha ha!" And we see how Bart ends the story saying, "See you in the funny pages." And this was the story. So I think, this comic is pretty good. It's a bit of a message, a moral, and a cautionary tale about not being obsessive, don't be greedy, and don't try and con your way into getting something rare and valuable, as, greed and corruption, as well as being obsessive, can be your white whale. And you do see this with a lot of characters. Like, they'll try to con their way in getting things, they'll fail to admit any responsibility, and sometimes they have to pay the price on full force. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, comic reviewer here, signing out.